Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Revealing the Narc, and on this channel we dive deep into the intriguing world of narcissism. I'll often use public figures as examples to illustrate how these behaviors can manifest in real life. If this sounds interesting to you, please like and subscribe. And I should mention, everything I say is in my opinion, and any theories or plans or anything that's a hypothetical, it's all allegedly. Okay, so let's get into the content. Today, I want to talk in the now famous interview where Meghan stated that she and Prince Harry had a private ceremony officiated by the Archbishop of Canterbury just days before their extravagant royal wedding. This angered me to no end because it's throwing into the face of the royal family and the British public. They spent all this money on a wedding and they said that that was just a show. It wasn't really their wedding. They had been married 3 days prior. It was proven, though, that this was false, so it gets you thinking, why in the world would Meghan say that? Why? It doesn't make any sense, right? And this is something I've been thinking about since she said that in the Oprah interview. What's the purpose? So today, let's talk about potential purposes of her doing that. I was going to say, is it purposes? Potential purposes. All right, let's get into it. I want to consider the impact that this would have on different regions of the world. So I think people that were in the UK and Commonwealth would be highly offended with this statement because she's allegedly taking for granted the love that the people were bringing to this wedding. They all wanted to celebrate in their joy, in Harry and Meghan's joy. And also they financially supported part of it, I believe. So I would imagine that would anger people that felt that they had paid for at least a portion of this wedding. But people outside of the UK and the Commonwealth, particularly in America, I think they wouldn't be offended and they would actually feel that maybe Meghan is an empowered woman. She is non-traditional. Her love with Harry is so deep that all they needed was a backyard wedding. Keeping all that in mind, I think there are 3 reasons why Meghan told this very easily provable lie. I think Meghan wanted to control the narrative. A narcissistic person may lie to create a more favorable or romanticized narrative about their life, allowing them to maintain a sense of control over how they are perceived by others. And we know Meghan really controls or tries to control her own narrative by putting out puff pieces, by trying to really control what is said about her in the media. The second reason I think she did this was for attention and validation. She would draw media attention and public interest, and this fulfills her need for validation and admiration, which is something that she is constantly seeking, in my opinion. And finally, I think she wanted to deflect criticism. By presenting a unique or exclusive story about the wedding, it could serve to deflect criticism and scrutiny about their choices and the public nature of the royal wedding, framing it as a more private, personal, and intimate event. So this question of criticism led me to another question. A question led me to a question. Isn't that what always happens? You answer one question, it opens 10 more questions for you to ask. Anyways, so I wondered what criticism Meghan had faced or had seen in the media that would encourage her to tell this lie. Because in the US, I don't think anyone criticized the wedding, and in fact, a lot of people celebrated it. I know a lot of people stayed up till 3, 4 in the morning. I was actually one of those people. I was rooting for them as a couple. I loved them until I started seeing her behavior. So let's talk about 3 things that they have been criticized about. The first one is royal tradition. So critics argued that their wedding did not adhere to traditional royal customs, emphasizing that it felt more like a celebrity event than a formal royal ceremony. This included concerns about the guest list, which featured many high-profile celebrities. And actually, this triggered a memory. There's usually a guest list that's published. Almost every royal, I think, or every royal wedding has had that, and Meghan absolutely did not want that to be released. So She was, I think, one of the only royal brides that prevented the guest list from being released. The second is media attention and privacy. So Meghan and Harry faced backlash for seeking privacy while simultaneously attracting intense media scrutiny. Many felt their actions were contradictory, especially with the extensive coverage of their wedding and the subsequent media interviews. And this is true. I could see how this could be a major criticism that they could have faced. And I remember there was someone from the British media or the UK media that said that Harry and Meghan purposely would not look their way so that they wouldn't be able to get a good shot. If anyone remembers who it was that said that, please drop it in the comments. I can't remember off the top of my head. And finally, the cost of the wedding. The public criticized the estimated millions spent on the wedding, questioning whether taxpayer money was appropriately used for such an extravagant event, particularly in the light of ongoing social issues in the UK. And that's a big thing to think about. So if you're using taxpayer funds for the wedding, which I'm not sure that they did, I need to check that, then the public should be able to enjoy it, right? I mean, at that point, it's a public event, so you shouldn't be mad at it. Am I right? I don't know. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think.